Yeah, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Jams and Cocktails radio show live. That's right. I am your host, Brad Brock, and tonight's show was inspired by an experience that I had a while back and then resurfaced recently. Jordyn can attest to this. I stumbled across a video on YouTube about a spelunker or cave explorer that got stuck and died. And so I'll tell you the whole story later, so don't you worry. But it filled me with this intense anxiety. And it's kind of funny because I was in no danger from this experience whatsoever, but I was panicking listening to this story and seeing the slideshow that came with it. So it prompted me to want to know if all of you out there in our destruction crew, who I will introduce to you in just a moment, you know them, to see if they had similar experiences. And you all out there did not disappoint, and neither did they here in the lounge with me. As mentioned, joining me on this white-knuckled journey this evening is the fiery Ms. Jordyn Taylor. And the baddest bitch in the land, Ms. Elly Brock. Right. They will also be sharing their stories and tales of anxiety and irrational thoughts. And while we're going along, feel free to share yours in the chats and comments with us as well. We thank you all so much for tuning in live on YouTube, Facebook, and listening in on Shore Life Radio. Please hit that subscribe button. And also a big thank you to all our friends on social media who shared their anxiety triggers with us this week. And we're going to be going over some of those this evening. Later in the show, of course, stick around for a calming round of Name That Tune. You're going to get your entertainment news and the Jordy Files, and hopefully Elly's got some relaxing words of wisdom in her Bad Bitch Bible study. But, of course, before we push all of your anxious buttons, let's celebrate National Toasted Marshmallow Day with our cocktail of the week. Yes, this wonderful, delicious cocktail that Elly just made this whole place smell like a dessert heaven, like Kilwins, if you're familiar with Kilwins. It's the Toasted Marshmallow Martini, and to celebrate, of course, Toasted Marshmallow Day. So it's a very simple drink, 1 ounce Frangelico. It's actually equal parts of all of these things, so instead of saying 1 ounce, it's equal parts into a shaker of ice, Frangelico, vanilla vodka, Irish cream, and butter shots. You're going to shake it up and put it into a martini glass. We're not that classy, so we didn't do that. Mainly because I have a bad habit of tipping glasses over here. But and you're also going to toast up a marshmallow as a garnish. Elly did a really nice job.
Thank you.
On toasting these up. I think this was actually Jordyn's.
Yeah, that one was Jordyn.
Yeah, we had a fire before this.
It was
bonfire.
We were concerned. There was some concern going on, but there we go.
Oh no!
Oh, it went in the drink.
Oh boy!
So I'm not sure what you do first. Maybe you sip and then you eat. I don't know.
Maybe you eat, sip, eat.
Okay.
I don't know. No, probably not. You probably. Well, I'm doing both because I dropped it in there. But
I ate it all.
Oh,
that's nice. I like the toastiness.
oh God, that's very strong.
Jordyn's having a hard time there. How you doing, Elly? Did you just take a nibble?
Yeah, I have more drink. I got a drink marshmallow ratio here.
Even it out.
You're
on the wrong.
I did the whole thing.
Oh. Brad, in your
it's a nice drink.
I have a side thought.
Oh, what's your side thought?
When you're talking about your fear, anxiety, will you explain why they're called a splunker? I think that's the cutest name ever.
Spelunk.
A spelunker. Splunking.
Yeah, I don't actually know what the definition of that is or why it's called that.
Word.
But
I've been thinking about it since you said it.
Yeah, maybe somebody should look that up for me. We'll put somebody on the case. There you go. Oh, it wasn't good. You didn't like it, Jordy?
It's a little strong and sweet. What do you think, Elly?
It's all alcohol. There's nothing in here that isn't from a liquor bottle.
It's good.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a toasted marshmallow.
No, it's good, but it's like it burns the tongue a little bit.
There you go.
The toasted marshmallow tastes like toasted marshmallow.
It certainly does. All right, you guys join us each week for our cocktail or shot of the week by visiting our website at jnclive.tv. Then you can click over to the shot of the week page and see what we're planning. Then get everything you need delivered to your door by our friends at Drizzly. There we go.
Also, my hand is raised.
Breaking news. Beep, 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 beep,
Yeah.
beep, beep, beep.
So the group referred to themselves as spelunkers. It's a term derived from the Latin spelunca, which is cave, cavern, or den.
So it's really a name of a cave.
Yeah.
Or den.
The more you know.
Jaybird, that was very nice. Jaybird said one who makes a hobby of exploring and studying caves. Thank you, Jaybird.
Seems like a random choice.
Yeah.
Of a name, but I'm here for it.
Jaybird, he commented on my shirt. It's a nice shirt.
Yeah.
Jaybird, just a week ago or a couple weeks ago, was wearing the very same shirt. He sent a photo over there. Okay, so, we did the Drizzly bit. Good deal. I'm anxious about talking about this. I just told Jordyn, like, preparing for the show today, I was like, man, I was on high alert, just looking into everything.
Welcome to how I feel every day of my life.
Oh, God. Yeah, you will have some insight, I'm sure, on all this.
Everything makes me anxious.
But let's get right into it. Are you all ready for this? Everybody has their cocktails at home and maybe some Xanax ready. So we're going to lay out the basics here for you, just so everybody's doctored up and we're all professors now and on the same page. Anxiety, of course, is that uneasy feeling when you got a big test coming up or a big job interview. For some people, anxiety can be a lot more intense and persistent, and it can lead to having irrational thoughts as well. So let's talk a little bit about what irrational thoughts means. So these are thoughts that are exaggerated or don't really make sense when you think about them logically. For example, if you make a small mistake at work and then start thinking, oh no, I'm going to get fired for sure. Well, that's kind of an irrational thought, maybe. It's taking a small thing and blowing it way out of proportion, which is really just the definition there. So here's how anxiety and irrational thoughts are connected. Anxiety often starts with a what if thought, like what if I mess up during my presentation or my radio show? And then your mind kind of snowballs from there. Before you know it, you're imagining the worst case scenario, like I'll mess up the presentation, everyone will laugh at me, I'll get fired, and I'll never find another job again. The thing is, anxiety tricks your mind into believing that these irrational thoughts are actually true. And that makes you even more anxious, and it's like a vicious cycle that keeps going around and around. The good news is, once you realize that your anxiety is causing these irrational thoughts, you can work on challenging and changing them. This is something that a therapist can really help with, but you can also start practicing on your own, of course. When you notice yourself having an irrational thought, try to stop and ask yourself, is this really true? What's the evidence for it? And against it? Is there a more balanced way to look at the situation? And as a JNC PSA, remember, it's totally normal to have irrational thoughts and anxiety. And it's okay to ask for help if you need it. That's very important. We all have it. We all go through it. It's okay to reach out for help. So, with that being said, I'm going to kick off this whole segment with a story of the cave diver, the spelunker, that started this whole thing for me. And so, submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society, I call this story The Tale of John Edward Jones and the Nutty Putty Cave Incident.
Oh. What a name.
So John, a 26-year-old medical student, was living the dream. He was newly married to the love of his life, Emily, and they were expecting their first child. Life was good. John was also a thrill seeker and loved spelunking, which is, as we now know, exploring caves. Now, the night before Thanksgiving in 2009, John decides to go on an adventure with his brother Josh and a group of friends and family. They head up to Nutty Putty Cave in Utah, a well-known spot for cavers. Despite its history of being dangerous, this cave, you guys, is basically a maze of narrow tunnels and passages made of soft clay-like rock. John had been there before as a teenager, so he wasn't completely unfamiliar with it. So the group splits up to explore different parts of the cave, and John, being the adventurous soul that he is, decides to check out a super tight passage, thinking it might lead to an undiscovered part of the cave. This passage was ironically called Ed's Push. Now picture this. The passage starts with an 18-inch opening and then narrows down to just 10 inches. Can you imagine? John, however, was determined and starts inching his way through head first. Now here's where things take a turn for the worse. John gets into the narrowest part of the passage and he gets stuck. Like really stuck. His torso is wedged in tight, his arms are pinned beneath him, and his legs are dangling. He's 400 feet into the cave and 100 feet below the surface. Josh, his brother, of course, tries to help him out, but quickly realizes that this is beyond them and goes to call for help. Rescuers arrive around midnight and start working tirelessly to free John. Over 100 people, including cavers, paramedics, and volunteers, were involved in this massive rescue operation. They tried everything, from setting up a rope system to pull him out to chipping away at the rock. They even considered using explosives. They managed to get him some water and some light, but guys, John was in a really bad position, hanging upside down, which made it extremely difficult for him to breathe. After more than 24 hours of relentless effort, at one point almost getting him out before the rope system failed and he slipped back in, John tragically passed away from positional asphyxia. It was heartbreaking. His wife Emily and the rest of his family were waiting on the surface, praying for a miracle that never came. In the aftermath of this tragedy, the decision was made to permanently close the Nutty Putty Cave. They sealed it off with concrete, with John's body still inside, creating a tomb for this brave adventurer. It was just too risky to try and recover his body. It's a somber reminder of the dangers that lurk in the wild and how quickly things can go south, even for the most experienced among us. There you have it. By the way, that picture, that's not actually him. Just throwing that out there. That's not.
That's comforting.
That would be a little morbid.
A little morbid. That's not actually him. That person probably made it out of there. But so there you go. That's the story. That's the story that drew me in and made me feel so anxious. I'm feeling it right now. Like I'm like sweating. So after listening to this story, of course, for the first time, and then again, just recently, I told Jordyn, I was like, I turned it off, and then I went back and watched it again, like finished watching it, and I was completely filled with anxiety. It's a little lighter now because I've looked at the story like 15 times today, but man, you know, and then of course you go down the rabbit hole on YouTube and you look at a ton of other videos of people cave diving, and like that just is mental too.
Just to be in a tight space like that, just in general, is enough to give me anxiety. I don't like being in a confined space.
Right.
Like I need room to move and breathe. And
so what causes this feeling, you ask? Well, I'm certainly glad that you did. It's called claustrophobia, and this is probably the most common one that everybody kind of knows and has heard of before, right? Claustrophobia, of course, It's where somebody feels very anxious in small or enclosed spaces like elevators, tunnels, or narrow cave passages, like were mentioned before. If someone gets anxious hearing stories or seeing videos of people crawling through narrow cave passages, it might be because it triggers their claustrophobia. They might start to feel panicky, sweaty, or like they can't breathe just from imagining themselves in that position. And it's not just a little bit of nerves. For someone with claustrophobia, it can be really intense. They might go out of their way to avoid situations that trigger it, like avoiding caves or tunnels altogether. Obviously, I don't think I will ever go into a cave if I can avoid it in any way possible.
I think it's safe to say that spelunkers don't have claustrophobia.
Maybe they're trying to tackle it. I don't know. But, oh boy, I have to keep up with all the chats tonight. And don't, like, we have 3 people watching the chats across the board there. So be sure to drop it in there. And if you've got something to say, one of the girls will bring it to my attention. And,
well, Jaybird said that he has claustrophobia. He found that out in an MRI, and I've been in MRI machines, and yeah, it's intense to be in all of that, and you're enclosed.
They really do make. They
it.
try to make it as they tell you to close your eyes. They give you some headphones to listen to music.
Do they? I didn't get that.
Oh,
I didn't get headphones.
I got headphones, and they
did not tell me to close my eyes either.
They were like, "What's your favorite playlist on Spotify?" And they put it on for me.
Oh.
Like, yeah, it was great.
I go to the VA, so
that makes sense.
This explains it.
Yeah, no, that's a great example, Jay. That's a great example. MRIs can really trigger that, and then the fact that you have to stay still is a whole other bag. That was the toughest part. I think I actually just fell asleep, to be honest, but
that's the way to do it.
Keith the hat guy said, "My fear is I'll run out of wine before the show is halfway over." That's fair. Don't worry, we'll take a break in the midst of all this to refill. Now, the other members here of our crew, we've discussed some of their triggers previously, so let's go to Jordyn. Jordyn, how about you? What's a trigger that sparks your anxiety in your irrational thinking?
Well, the biggest one being going back to a couple of years ago, which we've recovered. Well, we've just really repressed it. But yeah, the fear of the unknown, I guess, or death, dying.
Oh yeah,
What's
like
after that?
what's
the
after
final, the end?
What's after death? Yeah.
Yeah, all of that kind of stuff.
That was a big one for you because you actually did what we mentioned people should do if it's really that uncontrollable, and you reached out and you actually went to therapy for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that helped you.
It did.
Yeah, it's good. It's really important to talk about this stuff, and that's why we're doing it. Sometimes we got to take a night off of shenanigans, and of course we'll try to make this as light as possible. But
it's good for people to know that they're not alone. That everyone has 100%. These feelings.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, that was helpful too. Yeah. In our podcast episode when we all talked about it, and Elly and Derek were both like, "Yeah, we."
All the time.
And
I forgot we had a whole kind of powwow about it.
Yeah, and all that. So that was helpful too. And then just realizing, there's really nothing you can do about it. So it is what it is. So
yeah, which is kind of alarming too.
That's hard to accept. Yeah,
which took some time. And then after having literally 3 weeks solid of being able to hear and feel my heartbeat, because I guess I was having an internal panic attack for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
This is real stuff, man.
Yeah. Anxiety isn't just mental, it's physical too.
Oh, yeah, it was wild.
Yeah,
when we were at Colby's thing, his graduation, that was a rough situation to be at. Remember we went to his
was I there for that?
Yeah, I think we went together. I think I had to have you pick me up.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know if I went to that.
I don't know if you did either. I
don't think
we were
I did.
working. But anyway, yeah, and being around that many people in
Oh
that
yeah,
condition,
it was just you were not there. Yeah, it was just me and Jordyn. Yeah.
that was a good time for me. Yeah, hearing my heartbeat. Yeah, it was good stuff. Anyway,
Well, at least
yeah.
it was beating.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Oh, we knew the ticker was working. Yeah. Mhm. Silver lining.
people can get really anxious about stuff that hasn't happened yet, you know, and concern themselves with, you know, like what happens after you die, you know.
Well, what
these
you
are-
touched on earlier, the what ifs, and then
Yeah.
you just go down the rabbit hole, and then before
Exactly.
you know it, you've spiraled on yourself, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is like thinking about the universe, and it's like your brain can't even handle what you're trying to think about.
Yeah.
So, and then it's just too much.
Well, the truth is, it's actually a pretty common thing, which you found out, right?
Yeah. Well,
And it's part of something that they call generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD for short. And people with GAD tend to worry about a whole bunch of different things, not just one specific thing. And it could be stuff like work stuff, relationships. Work stuff was a big thing for you too, Jordyn. That really contributed.
Yeah.
Health, your health.
Check that box.
Yeah,
too.
and really anything else. You know, it's not just a little bit of worry. It's like constant, excessive worrying that's hard to control. And it makes you feel really restless, having trouble sleeping or concentrating, and just generally feeling on edge, hearing your own heartbeat. It's wild, you know? And the tricky thing is, it's not always about stuff that's actually happening. A lot of it is worrying about the unknown, like what could happen in the future. It's like your mind just automatically goes to its worst case scenario, and you can't stop thinking about it. So in your time with your therapist, just rattle off a couple things that maybe she gave you that kind of helped you, aside from maybe a prescription. Maybe something that, like, maybe an exercise or something that can help you kind of ease out of that.
She didn't give me a prescription at all.
Oh,
So
good.
That was good. Yeah. I honestly don't really remember. I just feel like talking it out with her. I just feel like she asked me questions, and she kind of almost just made me feel like, obviously everyone thinks that, but what, like we were talking about, I feel like she was kind of just came at the approach like, well, what makes you think you're going to die? Like, you know, you're not going to die today, you know, like, yeah, it could happen, but like, basically just like you're being ridiculous, kind of, without saying you're being ridiculous a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it happens to everyone. I don't know. I don't really remember what kind of, but
Well, it's good
Just
because
going
that goes
into,
back
like,
to what I
everyone-
said in the beginning,
Yeah.
where you kind of question the validity of your
right.
Of
Like,
your
are you sick?
ex-
Like, did
anxiety.
you come down with something?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. So she kind
Interesting.
of just, yeah,
Yeah.
played to that a little bit. And then I was like, and then I just felt stupid because I was like, well, no, none of
you
that's
didn't feel
well, not
stupid.
but I was just like,
You-
no, but like,
it forced you to really think about
it could happen any
what
day,
was going on.
anytime, no rhyme or reason.
That's interesting.
So, yeah,
Good
I think
stuff.
it was kind of that approach. Yeah.
And you got a couple other ones on this list that I'm going to touch on because we all know you're a crazy person.
Yeah, thank you. Well, and then one I just thought of was, and for years now, and it kind of just makes me question because and maybe I do, you know, the high blood pressure thing, but also the white coat syndrome. Like, your girl has that hardcore. Hate the doctors. Really just hate the blood pressure cuff. When that thing comes out,
Little claustrophobia in there.
yeah, or just I don't know, I just like focus so hard. It's kind of like being in the MRI machine, you know, like don't move, don't breathe. And it's like, okay, well,
Yeah, you ever
have
wonder
to,
if you've got high blood pressure just because because you're so anxious about having it taken?
yeah. And then just had bad experiences with the blood pressure cuff machine. And they're like, oh my God, you're like going to stroke out at any moment. I'm like, I'm fine. And then they make it worse. And then,
God.
yeah. So I don't know, getting my blood pressure taken too, which sounds ridiculous. But every time, so now I've kind of, and the last couple
That's
times
called
it's been good.
PTSD, Jordyn. Like, for
We're-
real.
Yeah.
Like, actually.
We're going to get into that too
Okay, good.
a little bit.
It's good to check
also.
that box too. But now I've taught myself little helpful hints. I'm like, you know, you just got to focus on the breathing, out and in the mouth, screw the nose, think nice thoughts, all that seems to work. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
the last
I mean,
couple times it's been good.
Rapid Dog says, "Control your thoughts." Is old as
Oh, see,
old as dirt. Yes.
Yeah.
We get it, man. Like if it's tried and true, there's something to it.
Well, the
You know what I
mind
mean?
is a powerful thing. So if you can get a hold on that at all,
Yeah.
you know,
Yep.
Yeah.
Elly when I asked her yesterday what some of her anxiety triggers were, she mentioned that not so high heights is something that triggers her anxiety. So tell us a little bit about that, Elly.
So, like, heights doesn't really get to me. I can be up very high. Like when we were in Vegas, we were on that big Ferris wheel. I was fine with that. But if I get on the second step of a ladder, I can't make it the rest of the way up the ladder. Like, I have to get down. I cannot do it. Standing on a roof is the most scariest thing ever. I will have a full-blown panic attack. Even just like I have a 2-step step stool, and if I'm on the top step and I look down, I get disoriented, and like I don't like it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I feel the same way. Like I have gone skydiving and wasn't afraid of jumping out of the plane. But like you mentioned, the roof. The toughest part for me is not getting up on the roof. When I'm on the roof, it's fine.
I can get up there, yeah.
But for me, getting back on the ladder to go down, it's like, and I've gotten better over the years, but it's just uneasy. And coming, if it's a flat surface, that's one thing. Coming off of like a slanted roof that way is a little bit more tricky for me. But yeah, I don't know about the step stool one foot up, but the truth is, for some people, being high up or just being on a stepladder, looking out of a window a few floors up, it can make them feel dizzy and panicky. And that has a name. It's called acrophobia. Acrophobia.
Now, is that different from tall heights?
No, it's
just heights in general.
Heights in general, right? So it's basically a fear of heights. Is acrophobia, but it doesn't have to be crazy high heights, right? Some people with acrophobia can feel anxious even when they're not up very high at all. For example, on a stepladder. It's actually one of the most common phobias. So if you have it, you're definitely not alone. It causes all sorts of physical symptoms too, like feeling dizzy, sweaty, and feeling like you're going to faint. All of these things are very, very common here. And it can make you feel really anxious and scared, even if you know logically that you're safe, right? So it's a tricky one because a lot of people avoid heights or high heights, and it's not always possible, of course. But there are treatments available like cognitive behavioral therapy, and that can really help. And
or just avoid ladders.
Or avoid ladders, but you can't always avoid elevators. You can't always avoid having to go up in skyscrapers.
Elevators, like not the height will get me, but the motion. I get motion sick. But
man, we got a lot of baggage to unpack with you, huh? So we're missing Derek tonight. Derek had a couple of them, but we're actually going to touch on them too throughout the evening as well. And we've had some of our listener friends chime in on social media this week to share their anxiety triggers. So here are a few of yours out there that we're going to bring up here. And this one, first and foremost, this was a pretty common one. Elly, you said it. Jordyn has said it. And Derek even mentioned it too when he spoke with me last night. And it's birds. It's birds.
Fuck birds.
Yes, birds, of course. Oh, that's caves.
Oh, again.
No.
Let me just be clear. I like
Birds.
a bird, but a lot
I don't
of
want to trigger everybody with, do you guys remember this Hitchcock film, Birds?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this is a swarm of birds, Elly.
Oh, yeah. Swarms get me.
And they're going to get them.
Yep.
Our friend Alicia wrote to us saying, birds, I freak out when they're around me and have to get away. I don't know what it is about them. Perhaps maybe seeing this film.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, the child.
Yeah. Are we having some PTSD moments there, Jordy?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll get it off the screen. Okay. So.
That's
oh,
horrible.
God. That is terrible.
If they wanted to, we're afraid of all this other stuff taking over. The birds could take over. They could have us all in a New York second.
You ever been on the beach and you got some French fries?
Oh, yeah. And 4,000 seagulls.
Yeah.
So
for
many
one
seagulls.
French fry. It's like, good
Ooh,
heavens.
that will immediately trigger your anxiety. You can't eat on the beach. Absolutely
No,
not.
They'll snatch it right out of your hand.
Yeah.
Take your thumb and all.
Absolutely. And they're not nice.
No. Birds.
Sky
Birds
rats.
only want one thing, and that's what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, birds are crazy, and Alicia and friends, you're not alone at all. Of course, obviously, it's there's a phobia name for it, and I can't remember what it is. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it is a phobia for people who are scared of birds, and it's called ornithophobia. 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 You take that to the bank. It might sound kind of random, but it's actually more common than you might think. Someone with ornithophobia would feel super anxious and panicky around birds, or even just thinking about them. Like even just seeing a pigeon on the street or hearing birds chirping outside the window can make them feel really anxious. Like the mockingbird. It can cause all sort of physical symptoms too, like sweating, a rapid heartbeat, and feeling like you need to get out of there ASAP. And it's not just about being scared of birds attacking or anything. It can also be triggered by the way birds move, their feathers, or even just being around them. It's different for everybody. And the tricky thing about that is birds are pretty much everywhere, so it can be really hard to avoid them completely. But the good news, like other phobias, it's totally treatable. Again, with therapy. So thankfully, we live in the information age where you can literally, type into your Google, how can I...
What is wrong with me?
What is wrong with me?
Why am I scared of everything?
Alicia chiming in actually over on Facebook. Welcome to the show. We were just talking about you, Alicia. So there you go. Birds. That's one of them. The birds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't recommend the Hitchcock film if you got a problem with birds.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan's got a personal story
It's
about
really just that beak.
the beak.
Mm-hmm.
Don't like that beak.
The pecking.
Yeah,
Yeah, it can do some damage.
Jordan doesn't like the pecker.
No.
That's for sure.
We're afraid of the pecker.
Oh boy.
So, Jordyn, are you afraid of like just one bird? Like if someone had a parrot?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that either.
Yeah?
Yeah. No. And I had a pet bird growing up also, probably. And so did my friend, a bigger one. I had a parakeet, so like that was one thing, but it was still an asshole. It started out nice, but I think I've heard the less you kind of pay attention to them or play with them, they start to get a little angry.
Yeah, birds are feisty
Yeah.
for sure.
So then it got a little assholey and it would, peck you, bite you, whatever. Obviously not great. And then my friend had a bigger bird and hers was kind of an asshole too. And they could do some damage. And then it liked to get on your head. And I was just like, I'm not.
And birds will shit on you. They don't give a fuck.
And then not to mention, the shitting factor, not great also, just all of it. And then flapping around. They move very quickly. Unpredictable.
Rapid Dog says bird poop is full of diseases.
Yeah.
Keith the Hat Guy said, go birds. I'm from Philly.
Oh.
Go birds.
Go birds.
Yeah.
Those birds.
We're down for that.
Oh, and then just not to mention when I was at Cocoa Beach with Kat the other weekend, there was an invasion of birds and like mutated gross ones on the pier, like missing toes and just
weird.
Ugh. And they were just freaky and everywhere, like coming up to our feet. Horrible.
We're unpacking some stuff here.
Yeah. Sorry, I hate them.
Birds suck.
And then the children were just throwing whole hamburgers and French fries at them, and I was like,
yeah.
That's what they do.
Feed your
The
kids.
birds,
Get your
man.
kids.
That's what they
This
do.
one thing at Disney World is all the like food courts and the little tables where you go to eat. Like there's birds everywhere.
Oh, and there's nothing that will ruin your experience more than that, honestly. Like just
Alicia says,
I'm done eating.
she said the funny thing is her daughter has two pet birds that are in the house. So
Oh dear.
you're really just a glutton for punishment there.
Oh no, Alicia.
I know.
You can't have this.
We're gonna go on to the next one here, and this one I feel like we could all relate to, really. And our friend Ariel wrote to us saying, when driving, I always imagine the worst things that could possibly happen. I'm not always going over how many ways I could die just driving to the store. She said, I'm always going over how many ways I could die just driving to the store. She said, shit, I even imagine a car flying through our house a lot. She said, just unnecessary thoughts that literally drive me wild.
That's a rough one.
Yeah.
That is
Right?
rough.
Yeah.
I feel that sometimes too. It's not constant, but when I do feel it, like I couldn't imagine feeling that all the time. It would be so hard to leave my house.
Yeah.
To drive to work. Like,
Driving would not be fun.
Yeah, that's rough.
And I'm going to touch on, we're going to get to this in a minute, but there's a lot of things that have to do with driving. And we're going to put together some pop culture and some PTSD in a minute. But let's get through this. And there's actually a phobia for you, Ariel. And it's called viaphobia, and which is basically when somebody gets super anxious about driving or being in a car. And it's not like an official medical term or anything, but it's what people commonly use to describe this kind of anxiety. So someone with viaphobia might feel really nervous or panicky in certain driving situations, like being on the highway or in heavy traffic, in the rain, or it could be more of a general anxiety about being in control of the car. And it's not always just about being scared of getting into an accident or anything. It could also be triggered by things like feeling trapped in the car or worrying about having a panic attack while driving. Anybody ever had that? You have a nervous breakdown while you're driving? And it's not just like a little bit of nerves. It could cause all sort of physical symptoms as well. Like, again, feeling dizzy, having a rapid heartbeat, and feeling like you're losing control, which I've had driving. Mm-hmm. And it can be really tough, especially because most of us need to drive or be in a car regularly in today's life. So that's a good one. And we're going to circle back to that as well. Because the next one is another type of driving situation. It's an interesting one, and I'm not sure if it's related, but I have a recurring anxiety dream about these. But apparently, bridges are a trigger, and so Peggy Scantar, drummer Dan's mom, she wrote in saying that her trigger is quote, a bridge falling into the water as I'm crossing it. My car. Worse, when she had her kids in the car when they were little. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
how often does that happen? Is that like something that happens a lot?
I don't know.
That's an interesting one. Like, I get it for sure.
But I have stress dreams, and it's not necessarily about the bridge failing. For me, it's when the bridge is so steep that I'm driving over it and my car begins to lift and fall backwards off of the bridge. So like
bridge
you have this
stress dreams.
Yeah, I have them whenever I'm like, it's one of my go-tos.
Is that your main stress dream?
No. It's one of
it's just one of them.
It's in the mix. But I've had it since I was very young.
That's interesting.
And yeah. I mean,
it's interesting to hear other people's anxieties because I'm like, I've never, like, that doesn't make me anxious when everything else does. So, like, that's so interesting to me.
Right.
I'm fine on bridges.
Yeah. I'm okay on bridges. I'm okay actually in real life driving.
The height on bridges gets me a little sketched out, but bridges themselves, I'm not worried about the bridge. I'm worried about me falling off the bridge and the height.
Anyway.
I think that's why I don't like roller coasters. From what you said, even though I know
they
like usually don't do them,
coasters?
well, especially if they're too steep, because I have that fear of like they're gonna just
fall. You just fall off.
Yep, I'm like, nope, not down with that.
Well, there's actually a phobia for people who get super anxious about crossing bridges, and it's called. Are you ready for it? Drum roll, please. Jephyrophobia. I wrote it out phonetically.
Good.
Yes, Jephyrophobia. And people with Jephyrophobia, they feel this intense panic and dread whenever they have to cross a bridge. Their heart starts racing. They might start sweating. All they want to do is avoid the bridge at all costs. And some people are scared that the bridge will collapse, Peggy, while they're on it, while others are more afraid of having a panic attack while crossing it. I used to have a friend or dated a girl at one time that would always like hold their breath across an entire bridge. And I don't remember who this person was, but would hold their breath across a bridge. And I was like, girl, we're never going to Key West. They'll call me a murderer.
Do you think for that fear, do you think it matters the size of the bridge? Like, do you think if it was like a bigger one, does that make it better or worse than like some little teeny rinkety one, like any bridge? And all?
Yeah, I think it's
do you think it's worse or better?
I don't know.
Probably worse with bigger bridges, but you probably still feel panic on small bridges too.
Yeah.
Keith chimed in. He said, They must have watched the film loop of the oscillating bridge that collapsed in the wind in high school too much. She said, I did too.
I feel like that's in every like apocalyptic or like every like weather movie, right?
Or superhero movie.
Yeah,
Somehow
like
the
there's
bridge
always
falls
a
down.
bridge and there's cars on it and there's always a bridge that gets
Interesting
damaged.
you bring this up. We're going to be circling back to that. So there you go.
Well, you did say pop culture and PTSD.
I did, and we're going to get to it, I promise. I promise. This was an interesting one. Laurie, she had an interesting one that I can kind of relate to a little bit. And she wrote in to say, she said, irrational, but going into somebody's house and seeing bad trim work. She said, it gives me such anxiety and makes me feel so bad for them. She said, weird. I know. The truth is, Laurie, I totally get it. And while there isn't a specific term for this that I could find, some people actually get anxious when they see bad trim work or any kind of imperfect finishes in someone's home. Weird, right? Well, it might be related to a more general kind of anxiety or even kind of drifting into the OCD or the obsessive compulsive disorder area, which is, of course, when someone has obsessive thoughts or compulsive behaviors about certain things, like needing everything to be perfect or just right. So it's not just about being a perfectionist, though. It can actually cause a lot of distress and affect somebody's daily life. And if your job is to walk into strangers' houses and have terrible trim, that might be a problem. Heather chiming in, saying definitely OCD.
Sassing.
Rapid Dog says size matters. I'm sure he's talking about the bridge. But yeah, I can relate. My brother, the dear sweet Steve the Bruce, he likes to come over and shuffle things around on purpose in my home. He'll tilt pictures on the wall. He'll do things like this, and it's not funny because
It's hilarious.
I do suffer from some certainly a very acute form of OCD, but more absurd than that is, and might be the first time I'm confessing this, at least to Jordyn. I will leave the house and get to my first turn to turn out of the neighborhood and have to turn around and come back because I don't remember if I shut the garage door. And even then, I have to verbally out loud tell myself I've shut the garage door and then carry on. And that works for me. Same with locking my car when I get somewhere. If I don't verbally say out loud to myself, I've locked the car, 1 minute later, walking away, I'll be like, did I lock the car? Honk the horn and everything. Beep, 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 beep. No. So I get it, Lori. You're not alone. Totally get it. Anybody else have any OCD issues here in the lounge or out there? We're listening to you too.
No.
Of course not.
I do have
Of
some
course
stuff. Not so much in my house. Like I am very particular in my house with some things. I feel like every ex-boyfriend can attest to that. As far as like cleaning and how things are put together, certain things like that. But at work, definitely have OCD. It makes me anxious if I see somebody doing something that's like that isn't how I would do it or isn't the right way. Like it does give me a lot of anxiety, or if something's a certain way and it's like, I don't know how to explain it, but if it's out of place.
It's OCD, man.
Yeah.
Rapid Dog said, I used to stress about whether I unplug the coffee machine or not. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because like appliances are smarter now. Like they turn themselves off after a while, and I find comfort in that. I know that most of our appliances here, after a while, will shut themselves off. So I've never been like, well, I don't know. But yeah, no, I could see that.
I do lock my car. Like I'll hit it until the horn goes off. That's how I know it's locked. Like I know I can hit my like key fob once and it'll lock and my lights flash. and I can see that, but I have to hear the horn
Yeah.
to know it's locked.
That's the same for me. Like, the horn doesn't do it for me, though. I have to verbally tell myself I've locked the car, and I walk away, and it's fine. And I'm fine.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Sometimes it's not enough, but most of the time, if, and I guess anybody that suffers these kinds of things, like as with anything, you research, how do I fix this? And somebody said, tell yourself out loud, you've done it. Did I lock the door? I locked the door. And, you're just mumbling to yourself, but it really helps. So there you go. Where did Jordyn go? Because this is an important one. I don't want her to miss. Let's look through the comments here while we're waiting on her. Keith said Renata has CDO. It's like OCD, but all the letters are in the right order as they should be. Nice. Love it. Let's see. Anybody listening over on Facebook? No, I see most of you have jumped ship and come over to YouTube, so I appreciate that. It's true. So Aaron just chimed in, our neighbor, and he was like, he actually had to call me one day about the garage door being open. See, feeding into my triggers, Aaron. But no, Aaron was a great neighbor and a dear friend. Was a great neighbor and is a dear friend. Yeah, I could always count on him to be like, you left your garage door open, Brad.
See, I left my garage door open for like a good 12 to 13 hours while I was home in the house. So like, I don't think I have OCD. I think I just have obsessive thoughts sometimes, and I have sensory issues. So if I'm watching someone and they're not like, especially at work, if I like show them how to do it and then they immediately do it wrong, I get anxious.
I mean, I guess that's fair. Heather, Heather chimed in, who was just recently a guest on our show. She said, not enough time in your show touching things twice to make sure they're good, they stay good. Talking, I guess, about OCD situations. She said so many different levels of OCD for sure. Yeah, it's true. It's true. All right. I'm not sure what Jordan's doing, but we're gonna have to move on without her here. So Elly.
Yes.
When I said we're gonna make it back to pop culture, this is a big one, because this is one that gave an entire generation of people.
I already know.
PTSD.
I already know.
If you already know, everybody out there already knows. And our friend Chelsea.
I think about it every day.
Our friend Chelsea wrote in and she said it. She said 2 words.
Yep.
What are they?
Final Destination.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
No one ever drives behind a lumber truck.
She said, I can absolutely never drive behind a truck carrying logs ever again. She said those movies ruined so many things for me. Let me tell you what.
I won't even drive behind. Like, we have a lot of construction vehicles here in Florida, and they'll be, where they have like pipes on the back or like metal siding and stuff. And like, I'm usually the type of person, I'll pull up enough so that like cars behind me can pull up. They have their room and stuff. Those cars, 2 car lengths. If anything falls off, it's going on the road in front of me. It is not going in my car.
Bro. Anything that I see on the road that is strapped down in a similar fashion as it was in those films or in that particular film, no, sir. No, sir. Absolutely not. Go back to 0. And if for those of you that might not be familiar with the scene, let me set the scene for you.
Oh no.
Yep, we're gonna do that. Here, check it out.
Ooh. Oh no.
Ah! Son of a bitch.
I wouldn't do that to you guys. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do it to you. I wouldn't do that to you. But yeah, that's the scene. That's the iconic scene from the film Final Destination that ruined the lives of a generation. So if you ever see millennials particularly, keeping their distance behind a log truck of any kind or anything, any pipe truck or anything. That's it. And Chelsea, to your point, there's actually no specific term for this disorder or for this anxiety.
It's just a movie franchise that gave us all PTSD.
And I'm gonna touch on that before we move on too. But it could definitely, of course, be related to watching the film Final Destination, and it's kind of like a specific phobia that gets triggered by a traumatic event, and in this case, watching that scene in the film. And it's totally common for movies, especially horror films or thriller films, to cause phobias or anxieties about specific situations. And so we'll pull you up there so we can have a discussion. Like PTSD, we often associate that obviously with people that have been to war or first responders that have seen things that are just unhuman. But PTSD can come to
any kind of trauma.
Anybody from any kind of trauma, including watching a film that ruins your perspective on reality. And like that, we all know it's fake. We all know that that it was a film,
but it implants it in your brain as a fear.
But we are now afraid to ride behind log trucks.
Yeah.
And more so than any other scene in any of the other films, that one sticks.
Oh, yeah.
And
because we've all been there. We've all been in that situation behind a log truck.
Yeah. It's and that's not the only one for me. Like there are plenty of other films or television shows that I've seen that have given me PTSD. I think children are susceptible to it. Going back to the dawn of time when parents are like, "You're not going to get any Christmas presents if you're bad." That I feel like wouldn't that not be a form of PTSD?
Yeah.
You won't get the present if you're an asshole. So I feel like there's a fine line there. I don't have the knowledge or the experience to know what that line is, but that film particularly ruined a generation driving behind a log truck. Never before, and people that have never seen the film care.
Truck drivers of log trucks now are just like happy that no one ever drives anywhere near them.
Yes, absolutely. That's 100% true.
Could you imagine being a log truck driver and seeing that movie? I would quit my job. I would be like, I can't do this anymore.
Funny, Jessica.
They probably end up with OCD.
Jessica tuning in on YouTube. She said, "I can't get in a lay down tanning bed after watching the films."
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that is a fear.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's freaked me out.
Those films ruined people.
Yeah, whoever was the writer and creator on those, man.
Shame on them.
Hey. How do they sleep at night?
I know, Jordyn.
Sleep at night.
Jordyn, you missed the Final Destination talk.
Oh darn!
Yeah, you also missed the clip of the log truck.
Oh darn!
I know. She knew it was coming.
I was about to say she knew what she was doing.
It's okay. I lived it on the road the other day.
What?
Oh yeah, you did. What happened
for bringing
to you?
It up, Brad.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, we're bringing up trauma, you guys.
Oh gosh, yeah. I was just driving down 95, minding my business, and one of those big semi trucks with like the container stuff on the back. I don't know. Was hauling sheets of metal or pieces of big sheets of something, and of course they didn't have a lid over the top or strapped down or whatever. A whole bunch of the pieces like blew out onto the highway everywhere. Big sheets, like gargantuan, destroyed this car next to me. One hit my car, or I ran over it because like they were all over the road, and I'm like, well, I mean, at least it's flat. I don't know. Hopefully Jesus take the wheel.
But yeah, you said it totally demolished a car next to you.
Oh yeah, or just like flat, ripped, I think, some of the bumpers off, or I'm sure it wasn't great.
God.
Yeah, they pulled over, and then mine, the back rear wheel, what's it called?
The mud flap.
The mud flap thing like popped off and was dangling in the wind, and that's all it did. Luckily, I was like, oh God, I'm gonna have a flat tire. I don't know what's happening.
You drive when that shit happens, you're driving the rest of the way in silence.
Yeah, literally. And I was like 1 mile from my exit. And I was
Oh
like,
God.
that's wonderful. But yeah, luckily I got the better end of that deal. And then,
Oof.
yeah, so it wasn't too bad. But yeah, now I'm just, every time I see one of those trucks, I'm like, did you strap your load down? Are we okay? Are we going to have an incident?
I've been driving behind cars and like, when you're following a car, I have a small Honda Civic. So if I'm behind like a truck or an SUV or something, I can't really see around this car.
Yeah.
And they'll hit something in the road and I don't see it until it comes out from underneath their car. And all of a sudden now it's my problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Surprise.
Yeah. Thankfully, I drive like a grandma. So I always know what's around me so I can get out of the lane real quick. But yeah, no, that's scary.
Yeah.
Driving sucks.
So horrible.
Yeah, driving's terrible. Heather says I can't drive 95 or the turnpike ever. Good, lucky for you, you do a lot of local stuff there. Ashley Morales tuning in there. She said "Birds" by Alfred Hitchcock. Has me hating birds to this day. Funny you should mention that.
Oh no.
You mean this Birds, Ashley? I triggered her.
Oh no.
Oh.
You didn't see this when I played it earlier? They came out to the kids.
Well, it only started like at this part, I feel.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
didn't see the beginning part.
I was having a hard time.
We don't need to watch it all again, really.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, we got to do it for Ashley.
Wow, look at these graphics.
Do you think those were real birds in that movie?
I'm gonna say no.
I mean, they're crows, so you could train them.
I'm gonna say that wasn't a thing. But yeah, birds came up quite a bit on this list.
I'm not gonna lie though,
People-
crows, like if there's one crow, they're a little fucking weird. I don't mess with them. They're weird.
Yeah, they're people.
I like
They're
'em,
people that
but-
weren't allowed to be people again after they were people.
Yeah. It's not that I respect them. I don't like them.
Fair. Rapid Dog said there's huge fines if you don't have your load secured on a trailer. Clearly, these people don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna do? Well, this was another unique one that came to me from my friend Kristen, and she wrote to us and she said every time I go to the deli guy at the grocery store and watch him slice the lunch meat, like slicing the meat slicer. Anybody ever have anxiety watching the deli person slice your stuff?
Know someone who has sliced their finger off.
When you say finger off, like
The tip of the finger off. Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the favorite
Yeah.
thing to watch. Yeah.
Rapid Dog, just to go back for a second, he said something that's really nice. I might actually make this into a t-shirt, man. He said, what one crow knows, every crow knows. And I feel like I feel like that's in a book somewhere. If you just made that up, you need to go and trademark that immediately. And
Brad's going to steal it.
I'm not going to steal it. If it's an original idea, go and trademark it, make a shirt and send it to me. I will wear it. I will wear it every day. I promise. I love that. What one crow knows, every crow knows. Oh, that's good. Anyway, moving right along. Keith said nice for writing that one down. It's good. That's good.
Profound.
So there isn't a specific name for this type of anxious trigger. But some people actually, of course, get anxious watching someone slice deli meat. It sounds random, but anxiety, of course, as we've learned tonight, can be triggered by all sorts of things. For example, if somebody gets anxious because they're worried about somebody getting hurt by the slicing machine, it could be a type of injury phobia. Or if they're worried about germs or contamination, it could be a mesophobia. Not to be confused with miso soup, which is delicious. Mesophobia, of course, is a fear of germs or dirt. And if it's more about the social situation or the environment of a deli, which can be a little nerve-wracking, calling numbers, come get your meat.
Interacting with people.
Yeah, so all the normal things at a deli. It could be a form of social anxiety, which Elly and I share when it comes to going to the grocery store in general. But it could also just be a specific trigger that doesn't really fit into any category. As we've mentioned, anxiety is super individual and can be different from person to person. So, yeah, I love delis, so I will curb all of my anxieties to go and get a delicious sandwich. That's all we have to say about that. I think I got one more here before we kind of wrap that up. And you guys are a riot out there. I love all of you tonight. I love that the chat's so lively. This is wonderful. Keith actually said the best miso soup he's ever had is from Harney Street Sushi in San Diego on Harney Street, and it's called Miso Harney. Wonderful.
That sounds awesome.
They saw the opportunity and they took it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like that pokey place in Key West.
Yeah, pokey.
Pokey in the rear.
Yeah.
Or pokey in the back or something.
I heard it's hard to get a table.
Is that a thing?
Wow.
Oh, I don't get it.
Miso horny.
Aw.
That was a stretch, I think.
Bad jokes give me anxiety.
Yeah.
All right, one more here. This was an interesting one from Darlene, who is a future guest here on the show coming up. More on that to come. And she wrote, big windmills. Said, I've worked through it, but it used to give me severe anxiety waiting for one of the arms to fly off and slice through the air. Final destination, anyone? Yeah, it seems
You
like
don't
that.
realize how big those things are until you see them in real life. I've never seen one and I don't want to, but I know they're huge.
Have you ever seen the trucks that have to tow them?
Oh, yeah. They can only carry like one blade at a time.
One blade, and it takes an entire tractor trailer.
Yeah.
And there's a special like little skate that goes on the other end that gives the thing wheels that keeps it up. It's an unbelievable undertaking to move these, to different places. So just remember that wind
Are
turbine
they still
people.
popular? Do they use these places still?
Oh man, the Dutch. It's all over the Netherlands.
Yeah, they have it in West Michigan too. Never go there.
Yeah, no, they're everywhere. There's a lot of them in the ocean too that kind of like power certain things. But
Interesting.
another story for another time. But yeah, imagine one of those bad boys just flying off and just the devastation it can cause.
Yeah.
There's actually a term for this.
Oh.
When people get anxiety from windmills, and it's fun. You're gonna want to say it. Anemomenophobia. Anemomenophobia. That's what it is. It sounds fancy, right?
That's cute.
It's a specific phobia, which means it's an excessive or irrational fear about a particular object or situation. In this case, windmills. People with specific phobias, of course, as mentioned before, go out of their ways to avoid these types of things. So someone with a anemomenophobia might avoid places with windmills or feel really anxious if they have to be near one. So luckily, we don't have a whole lot of those here in Florida. So Darlene, I think you're okay.
Came to the right place.
Yeah. Right?
You just have to worry about sharks and other things.
And other things.
Yeah. No CMs.
Rapid Dog said they have to close the highways and use the on-ramp to get off the highways in order to move those things around. Keith said even worse than a log truck is being behind a windmill blade truck. Heather said she's actually seen one on a tractor trailer while driving. It was awful. Yep. Jessica said, I've never had anxiety over a windmill until now. Fuck my life. Yep. I hear you.
Look at us.
We're traumatizing everyone tonight.
Giving
I know.
people disorders left and right.
We're not trying to traumatize you. We're just trying to unpack some baggage. Y'all got to start talking about this stuff. We just want you to be well. And here's how we're gonna help you through that. Just those are just some of the many anxiety triggers that are out there, you guys. But remember this: anxiety is super common. And it can really be overwhelming at times. But the good news is there are definitely some strategies that can help calm anxiety across the board. Jordyn touched on a couple of them, but I'm gonna give you a 6. 6.
It's this, Brad.
Oh yeah, if you're doing sign language
6.
proper.
Yeah.
American Sign Language.
Yeah.
So check it out. And listen, don't laugh. I mean, you can laugh if you want, but these sound so simple and so reasonable, but they really work. Just as Rapid Dog said earlier, these things are old as dirt, and they are for a reason. They're still around for a reason. So the first thing you could do is deep breathing. And this one is huge. Take slow, deep breaths. Do it with me right now. Deep breaths can really calm down your body. I do it all the time. Even if I've exerted myself doing something, I'll just take a minute to just do some deep breathing, slow my heart rate down. Try breathing in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, and then breathing out for a count of 4. Doing this for a few minutes can actually make a big difference. I can attest. I've done it. I'll do it after this show. Here's one for all you fatzos out there like me. Exercise. That's right. Regular physical activity is actually awesome for reducing anxiety. And it doesn't have to be anything intense. Even just a walk around the block can help. Next one here is mindfulness and meditation. This one's a little bit more difficult and requires a little bit of time and patience, but practicing mindfulness means staying present and fully engaged in the present moment. And meditation can also be really helpful. There are a ton of apps out there for on your phones that can actually help you through all of that. So check it out. If you're somebody that really suffers from anxiety, it can really help. Here's one that we've been kind of stressing all night. Talk to someone. Sometimes just talking to a friend or a loved one can make a world of difference. And remember that it's totally okay to seek help from a therapist or a counselor. Right, Jordyn?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Jordyn can attest. Mm-hmm. Here's one that would be tough for me, but might not be tough for others. Limit your stimulants. What does that mean? Let's get into it. Caffeine, nicotine, and other stimulants, some of you out there, can actually increase anxiety. So if you notice that you feel more anxious after a cup of coffee or a night on the town doing funny things in South Florida, it might be worth cutting back. And then here's the last one, you guys. Positive self-talk. Sounds ridiculous, but these are things that we kind of talked about today too. Try to be kind to yourself. Challenge those negative thoughts and replace them with positive ones. Remind yourself that the garage door is closed. Simple stuff like that. You guys, it's totally okay to have off days, and it's completely normal to feel anxious. The key is to be kind to yourself and remember that it's okay to ask for help. Also, different strategies work for different people. So it's all about finding what works best for you. And that's it in a nutshell, really.
I have a bonus one, Brad.
A bonus one, oh boy.
You ready?
Am I?
Might not apply to everything all the time, but even through my debacle and with the therapy over my anxiety, I kind of just found I needed to reshift my obsession or focus too. So not instead of paying attention to dying, focus on living or bettering my life. So instead of obsessing over death, I was like, well, let me obsess over this new lifestyle and get, at least try to be the healthiest version of myself. Maybe that will help my survival rate or not, but at least it gives me something quote unquote positive to obsess over or use my time doing instead of focusing on the negative. So redirecting your obsession or your focus to distract you, I guess, essentially, or to
or to something more positive,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Totally get it. Positive talk.
Yeah.
100%. Totally get it.
That was a big one too that helped get over the hurdle.
Yeah, and look at you.
Yeah. Because I was
Yeah, I know. I've lived with you a long time.
about it.
Yeah, we did it. Heather also said, Heather chiming in, she said, but before I get to Heather, I'll say Rapid Dogs. He says, I call meditation napping. Different strokes for different folks, baby. Heather said, bonus, it's okay to talk to a doctor. Sometimes you can't do it alone, and that's okay. And we talked about that too.
Yeah. Jolly good.
Keith said, will this show close with a live music selection? Maybe play Psycho Killer by the Talking Heads? No, we're done winding you all up. It's going to be a relaxing evening here on out. We're actually going to take a quick break, a little refresher for our drinks and for your drinks too. Keith, this is a good time to go get some more wine, pal. When we come back, we're going to have a relaxing round of Name That Tune, I promise, to shake all these nerves. And this is actually a brand new tune from our good friend Deal James. It's called Damned If You Do. This is Jams and Cocktails. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
You can live by the kill the flowers. On the other hand, you can say you played it safe. Another plan is you'll never have to taste the poison in the blood, left you feeling ashamed. Can you be in love without falling in love? Salt water speaks, but you're not supposed to drink. Damned if you do, but you won't know if you don't. Dry yourself off, you jump right back in. It's safe to be in love. Love. You can let it in without letting it take over. You can open up without tipping over. And on the other hand, you could say you played it safe. Another plan is you'll never have to taste the poison in the blood, left you feeling ashamed. Can you be in love without falling in love? Salt water speaks, but you're not supposed to drink. Damned if you do, but you won't know if you don't. Dry yourself up, you jump right back in. It's safe to be in love.
James there. Actually, I just talked to him a little bit today, and
How's he doing?
he's good. They're good. They're just doing their thing up there. You know, the boys Ryan and Deal and Zaza, they're just living that New York dream, and so I'm gonna try to wrangle them into a Zoom thing one time and.
Guys, try to get Brad to
Get the
apply for the
lowdown.
Harlem apartment.
No, we won't do that.
Thank you.
All right, you guys. Well, it's time to put your knowledge of popular music out there to the test in this very calming round of Name That Tune. All right. Here we are. We invite all of our live viewers to play along with us in the chats and comments. We're looking for the name of the song as well as the name of the artist or the band performing it. This week's category is Relax. Don't do it. All right. Are you guys ready to play?
Are we ever?
Sure.
All right, ladies. Are you ready to play out there? Look it in the chats. All right, first clue here and Name That Tune coming at you right now.
There's no combination of words I could put on the back of a postcard. No song.
Here it is one more time.
There's no combination of words I could put on the back of a postcard. No song.
Elly looks she's thinking really hard about this one.
I know it. I just don't know the name.
Jordyn's
I have my
just
brain power.
yeah.
Can I hear it
she's
one
just
more
got her-
time?
Oh, just because you asked so nicely. Here it is one more time.
There's no combination of words I could put on the back of a postcard. No song.
She's still.
I'm going
still
through the whole
nothing.
song in my head. I don't know. I can't think of it. When I hear it, I'll know it, but I know the artist, so I get half credit.
Jaybird, Ashley, Heather.
Okay.
All in with it there. No, you can't cheat.
No, I'm not writing. I just know it.
Let's see. What do you have, Jordan? It is. Is that say Jack? Oh, it does say Jack. All right. So Jack Johnson is right. You guys got that. And Better Together, of course, is the song.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah.
Jay Bird said, I sense Frankie Goes to Hollywood's coming. Nope. Wrong. That would have been too easy, Jay Bird. That would have been too easy. Ashley said, her daughter Nova Lee was born listening to Jack Johnson. Unbelievable. You know, the first song that came out from Jack Johnson was 2002. So that. Oh, God.
You said 2002?
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that later.
Good year.
Heather said, of course I get them now and not when she was on the show. That's right. All right. Next one here in Relax, Don't Do It.
Look at the stars. Look how they shine for.
Here's that clue one more time.
Look at the stars. Look how they shine for.
That was quick, Elly. How about you, Jordyn? You're quick? Okay, hang on to him real quick. Oh, Keith, you're so close. You're so close. Paul from the Drums and Rums saying The Wallflowers. That's incorrect, Paul. But I'm so glad that that you've tuned in, Paul. Paul was very, very hard at work over the last couple of days. Yeah, everybody's in with the answer there. What do you guys have here? What do you have, ladies? Yellow by Coldplay.
And it was all yellow.
Very peaceful, very relaxing. All right. Next clue. This one's for Jordyn.
Waited till I saw the sun.
But you know it, don't you? Here it is once again.
Waited till I saw the sun.
And Paul said he's just leaving work now. Yep. Paul, without going into too much detail, he's kind of like Batman. But when hurricanes come around, Paul has to put on the bat suit. That's for sure. Answers are coming in. Heather, it's not Macy Gray. Nope. All right, ladies, what do you have here in the lounge? It is Norah Jones, Don't Know Why.
I don't know why I didn't come.
Now, what's your problem with her?
I don't know.
Why are you so upset with Norah Jones?
Well, it used to be, and I can't even blame it on that anymore because I like him now. But I always thought she was like the female John Mayer, and I hated John Mayer at the time too. I don't know. She just seems whiny, like, I don't know.
I feel
She's
like
just always
that's
rubbed
the
me the wrong
only
way.
song that I really know from her.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she's got so many.
I know.
That was like the first one. All right.
You know what happened to her though?
Oh no, she around. She was in the Ted movie. You guys remember the film Ted?
She was in Ted.
Yeah, she was like on the state. It was a whole part of it.
Repressed.
Not saying that was a
Hater.
wonderful film or, deserved an Oscar by any means, but I think everybody saw it.
She was easy to overlook.
Keith said, don't know why I couldn't remember the Norah Jones title. That was a good one, Keith. All right. Here's... Oh, God, I cracked me up. Here's the next clue.
We got the afternoon.
Yes. Here it is one more time, in case you need it.
We got the afternoon.
Maybe this is why I have anxiety.
They're feverishly writing here in the lounge.
The longest title ever.
Man, you got to spell it out completely. No contractions.
Contractions.
Yeah, no contractions.
Like having a baby?
Not those kinds.
No.
But, yep. Ashley got it. Jaybird got it. Sure, the other answers will be in shortly. Heather said easy, but didn't put an answer.
Paul knows. He said the male Nora Jones.
Oh my God.
Correct.
I put that. I put male Nora Jones.
Shut the hell up.
It is Your Body is a Wonderland.
I love this. Oh, that's funny.
Your body is a wonderland.
Like, I always thought they should have done the song together, and it would have just made me absolutely throw
Oh,
up.
God,
When I was 12.
It's gonna be a song that gives everybody anxiety, and
Yeah.
we'll just all be depressed afterwards.
All right, here's the last one for relax. Don't do it. Last clue.
I don't want you to leave. Will you hold my hand? Oh,
Here's that clue one more time for you.
I don't want you to leave. Will you hold my hand? Oh,
Heather said she's folding laundry. That's why she can't play the game. Listen, Heather, you must give up all of your household duties when Jams and Cocktails is on.
Yes.
It's a live show, man.
At least for Name the Tune.
Jaybird nailed it on the singer. Don't look.
I already have my answer written.
You're already locked in, Brad.
I
You just-
only look after I write my answer
Yeah.
or when I've given up.
Ashley said Sam Hunt. That is incorrect, and for good reason. Sam Hunt would never produce music, such beautiful music.
Yummy.
She said Sam Smith. Oops. Did you say yummy? You're a married woman.
Who's Sam Hunt?
Thank goodness. Nobody.
Give him a Google.
I'm gonna Google it.
He's your type.
Yeah?
Nobody interesting. It is Stay With Me by Sam Smith.
oh, won't you stay with me?
Also yummy. In a best friend kind of way.
Oh, God.
He just needs like glasses and stuff for you, but
Yeah.
Is he a country singer?
he is.
He is.
No,
He's like
not my type
rock.
then.
Punk, pop, I mean, not punk.
Nah.
Paul wants to know
No.
he says
Nah.
is it Stay by an artist who plays 60 beats or less? That's correct, Paul. This is Relax. Don't do it. You guys
Oh
did
yeah,
great.
I got it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, we
Good
didn't even. We got distracted with something.
Body like a back door. Nice. Well done, you guys. All right. Well, since we're doing it anyway, we might as well jump into this news segment that is definitely as trustworthy as its counterparts like CNN and Fox News. This is the Jordy Files. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's the Jordy Files. But first, Heather said, Sam Hunt can lock my door and turn the lights down low. Rapid
you.
Dog said, well, at least you didn't play Adele. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Or Taylor Swift.
Oh God, yeah.
Drums and Rums, Paul said, Sam Hunt is related to Mike.
Who's Mike?
Not funny.
Oh, I'm not saying it.
Good work.
That's what Brad likes to call him.
Yes.
He's not even that cute though. He looks
Thank
like every
you.
generic country
Thank
boy.
you.
Just wait till he puts his suit on.
All right, Jordan, get on with it.
Whatever, folks. Good evening, I guess. We're going to get through this Taylor Swiftly now because,
Gotta get through this.
yeah.
Taylor Swiftly.
That was pretty good, man.
Thank you. I've been
that's
planning.
pretty
I've
good.
been plotting over here. And I am Jordy, and welcome to my files. So tonight we are going to get a taste of Katy Perry's guide to Vegas. Ellie Goulding takes it to the face.
Whoa.
Oh,
Sure does.
Miley is smiley with her mom, and an upcoming tribute to a game show legend. But first, here are some celebrity birthdays. Today, BB Rexa with her busted face is 34.
Whoa.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Well, not actually busted, but like
Is she recovered yet
Yeah, has
from
she
her
recovered?
incident?
Oh, that's what you meant.
yeah, no, not like her. Yeah, no, like her
Wow, I
actual
thought you-
busted face.
I
like,
thought you were like, oh, she busted.
Oh no, from her incident.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I would
Wow.
never say something that's mean.
Oh my God, that's
Maybe about
super
Nora
mean.
Jones, but not about BB.
Oh my
No, I'm just
God.
kidding. She is 34 today, and she's had just numerous hits. You know, if you don't know her, look her up. Cameron Diaz is 51.
Jesus.
Eek.
Where is it? There it is.
She old.
Wow. Sorry, all you 50 plus out there.
But not as old as our next birthday babe. Legendary billionaire Warren Buffett is 93 today, a ripe 93.
That's a solid age.
And Brad, would you believe that he still lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for Elly? Do you want to take a guess how much he bought his house for in 1958?
I'm going to say under 250 grand.
Well, you would be correct. For $31,000.
Jesus. Can we see the house?
Yeah.
Give
Oh my
a
God.
picture
Is
of
there
the
a
house.
I
picture,
know.
Brad?
Keith said $1,200.
Yeah.
Listen,
It's
like,
probably the most dope house ever.
bro, I mean,
He's
the
humble pie here.
the most frugal, humble guy.
That's how
there-
you get that much
First
money.
of all, there's a whole list on the cheap things that Warren Buffett does.
Also, he bought a house for as much as someone's salary is
That's-
for a year.
He bought.
That's
he,
cheaper than some cars.
He bought his
Yeah.
house for what I paid for my car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh God.
Wow, that's depressing. Yeah, so
Rapid Dog says Warren looks like an old Elton John.
He does
And now that
kinda.
you say that, he kind of does.
they got the same little smile.
He got more hair than Elton John, though.
Naturally,
Naturally.
maybe. We don't know. He's a billionaire. Could just be really good. Plugs.
I don't know how old this photo is, but he looks pretty good for 93.
That's-
I mean, I guess
He's not 93 in that picture.
Yeah, definitely.
I
There's
guess
no way.
I guess $1 billion does good for you, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, good. Happy
Yeah.
birthday.
Happy birthday, all of you. Yay. Oh, and today's August 30th.
If you're listening
Just-
to this in the future.
Yeah, just wanted to, put a timestamp on that.
Well, Keith said Elton John has bigger ears. Oh, you guys are savages out there. I love it.
Dang. Yeah. It's saving the work for me. Thank you, guys.
Did you know the older you get, your ears and your nose keep growing?
It's true.
Yeah.
Did you know that your eyeballs are always the same size? They never grow in size.
Well,
for
that's
your
why
whole
babies
life?
got big ass eyeballs.
That's right.
Did you also know that your foot is the same size as from here to here?
That's impossible.
Put it up there.
Wait, I gotta get a camera angle for this.
What?
Mind
sorry, that was
blown.
Yeah. And I think, when you hold your arms out like this, that's how tall you are. I think we tried that before, though. It was pretty accurate. Anyway, yeah, your body's very symmetrical while being wildly.
God's sake, it's got to be
Crazy.
balanced in some way.
Yeah, everything evens up. Anyway,
He said he checked. It's true.
see? I wouldn't lie to
Every-
y'all. I am the most
everybody-
credible news source.
Everybody out there that's listening to
Just
the
now
show,
put their foot
just
on their arm.
foot on their arm, and I'm here for it every day.
You're welcome. That's what we do. Educate and inebriate. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of that tonight. Whew.
So would that help you like picking out shoes?
Yeah, you wouldn't even need to try them on. I mean, at least for like to not cram your tootsies. I guess it
Yeah.
wouldn't help for the width, but I mean, I guess there's not really a lot of options. So yeah.
My feet are bigger than I thought.
Holy shit.
Eye-opening stuff here.
Do these shoes fit? Yep. Moving along.
Looks good. Anyway, that's fun. Katy Perry's play residency in Las Vegas will end in November, but she enjoys exploring the city on her days off. She recently took her daughter Daisy to the immersive Disney experience, and they had a great time. Katie also loves visiting Circus, which is wild because I hear it's like the literal most awful place on the whole strip.
No,
But
man,
I guess
Circus is dope.
It's very.
It's just old, man.
and dingy.
It's it's one of the oldest, still standing, like resorts on the strip. Man, they're all been ripped down.
Yeah, it looks
But,
a little sketchy,
It's
but I guess it's Circus. So
they just got an update though at Circus. Like,
did they? They got
I
a
mean, I guess
facelift?
within some last few years. But when the Wynn was renovating all of their rooms, I guess Circus bought all the furniture from
that's
the
good.
Wynn, all the secondhand furniture,
Oh, good.
and so there's secondhand furniture from the Wynn
That's
there at
wonderful.
Circus. So
Oh, good.
there you go. At least it's not any longer from the 70s and the 60s.
Yeah, you can't instantly smell the nicotine when you
Yeah.
check into the room.
Yes, the nicotine.
The nicotine.
Yeah, not all the cocaine.
Yeah,
not all of that.
Shoved in the upholstery.
Oh, good times. Well, they like to go there for a fun Saturday outing. Another favorite spot is Omega Mart by Meow Wolf. Wow, that sounds like a high time. A quirky grocery
Meow.
store. Oh, I see what you did there. You might ask, what is this Omega Mart? It is a quirky grocery store where you can actually buy the prop food items. So, awesome.
So you can buy fake food at this market.
Do you try to eat it then too?
Did anybody else out there have grandparents that had fake fruit in a bowl?
Everyone had the
Yep.
fake grapes.
Yeah.
Everyone had the
Oh,
fake
yeah.
grapes.
And you ruined them and you just picked them off and then they were like, what
Yeah.
are you doing picking the grapes off? They're
Yeah.
not real.
Yeah.
Did you ever have that one like block toy that when you played kitchen or had like the little it was like a birthday cake and it had Velcro on it and you could like put the cake together and take the pieces
We
apart
weren't
to
that
make a
fucking
full
privileged, Jordan.
Oh, at the daycares? No? Y'all didn't have that at the daycares? You could like make your own little
She thinks we went to daycare.
Right?
We went to Nana and Papa's house.
Where they had fake grapes.
Yeah, we got to
Nana,
play.
Papa ain't have no
we got to
Velcro
play with the
cake?
Virginia Slim boxes like they were cars, and the lighters were like little people.
Oh.
That's how that went down.
Wow. Did you smoke the cigarettes?
The whole house was yellow.
And it was all yellow.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I'm glad we could unlock that memory. Where was I?
Jordan's out here with
Yeah, I'm
her
like-
fancy cake
Yeah.
toys.
And I'm like, I thought I had trauma. Okay. As for dining, you might ask, Katie recommends a Carver steak, Carbone, which I've heard good things about, and A by Jose Andres for delicious meals. If you need a unique birthday cake, she suggests the Pastry Palace, Brad, that's where we can find you, which has created cakes resembling Optimus Prime, spaghetti, and a hand with a wrist guard.
Interesting stuff.
She is a crazy person, so all fun stuff.
She likes to have a good time.
Yeah, she's found some unique things out there. I'm kind of interested in this market that has the fake stuff to buy. That seems
Omega Mart by Meow Wolf.
wild. Next, at the Victorious Festival in Portsmouth, England, singer Elly Goulding was performing her hit song Miracle when pyrotechnics effect went off and appeared to hit her in the face. What is it with these artists and getting hit in the face?
Right in the face.
Right in the face. Right in the kisser. She paused momentarily, cursed, of course. What word do you think she said?
Fuck.
Yeah, definitely. And then continued the performance. I mean, we don't know that for sure, but yeah, money's on fuck. Many fans didn't even notice the incident. However, Elly reassured her followers on Instagram that she was okay and that the pyrotechnics did not directly hit her face. She and her husband, Casper Jopling, will celebrate their 4th anniversary soon, and they welcomed their son Arthur in 2021.
Arthur.
Sir Arthur.
They're so British.
Yeah.
I'm glad her face is okay. She's very pretty.
Yeah. Don't ruin the moneymaker.
Moneymaker.
So that is all good, jolly good.
Jolly good.
Next, Smiley Miley is ecstatic about her mother, Tish Cyrus, getting married to Dominic Purcell, who was in Prison Break.
Yeah.
You might know him from.
And he was from like Blade Trinity or one of the Blade films too. He was Dracula. Anyway.
Miley describes their love as sweet and genuine, bringing out a youthful spirit in her mama. Miley walked her mom down the aisle, and she considers it a special and magical moment. She feels honored to play a role in her mom's happiness, as her mom has always been the one behind the scenes supporting her. Oh, isn't that so adorable? You want to throw up.
Very sweet.
Yes. And last but not least, Bob Barker, the beloved host of The Price is Right, will be honored in an hour-long special on CBS this Thursday.
That's tomorrow.
That is tomorrow for all of you. The special, titled The Price is Right, a tribute to Bob Barker, will be hosted by, of course, Drew Carey, who took over as host in 2007. Oh, did you guys hear the little thing about, you had to get close to $1 as possible?
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're
Yeah,
like,
I thought that was kind
my
of...
man made it as close to $1 as possible without
Without
going over. And
I
was
thought that was really sweet.
I'm going to cry. So it will include memorable moments from Barker's 50-plus year career, such as clips from his first and final episodes as host. Oh, that would be interesting to see. The special will also showcase, Barker's connections with contestants, are archival clips of excited contestants, and his 90th birthday celebration. Wow, that is jam-packed and hard to say. Barker, who passed away at the age of 99, was known for his hosting skills, animal activism, and iconic sign-off phrase. The tribute will air on CBS on Thursday at 8 p.m. and will be available for streaming on Paramount Plus. So go check that out, folks.
Yeah. Oh, say along, Bob Barker.
Yeah, that is a solid run.
That's a solid run.
Solid run.
It's always sad when this kind of stuff happens, but like at the same time, it's like 93.
99.
Oh,
99.
Shit. 99.
Buffett is 93.
Oh yeah.
Don't get your men confused.
I don't
here.
want to kill off Buffett yet.
Yeah. Don't chip Bob out of his 6 years.
Oh,
Okay.
99. Oh my God. Yeah, no. I don't even know if I would. I don't even know.
I wonder how he was. Like, do you think he was pretty?
Girl.
Can we talk
Spy.
about how Drew Carey has been host since 2007?
Yeah,
I know.
that
When did
seems
that
unusual.
happen? Yeah. Is that still going
I feel
down?
like he just started. I feel like he
I
just
know.
started hosting.
Yeah. All very
It's
perplexing. stuff.
2023, people. Almost 2024.
Yeah, Drew Carey's been hosting a minute.
What is time?
What is happening?
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing really matters. And that's all for now. Thank you. I'm Jordy. Thank you for coming to the files.
Nice. Good job,
We'll see you next week to do it again.
We'll do it again. Good job, Jordan.
Thank you. It was halfway decent.
Yeah. Should we take one more break?
Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar. Oh.
Yeah, we'll do one more break. When we come back, we're gonna do Elly's Bad Bitch Bible Study, and we got our shameless plugs. Just to remind you guys, if you tuned in late and you're like, oh, I missed all the good stuff. Yeah, we got that too. We missed all the good stuff. You can find all of our shows re-uploaded generally the night or the day after today. Edited, and the audio's better, and all the other kind of fun stuff. Any of our technical snafus are edited out, and you can watch it again, and we still get to see the comments. So that still just comes to my cell phone while I'm in the middle of my life. So we get to see all of that. So if you missed it, feel free to go back. You can watch this episode again, and the re-upload, of course. We hope that you give us a like. Do a little thumbs up and make sure you subscribe.
Yeah.
When we come back, we got all that stuff for you. This is actually one from our past guest, JJ Rivera, and it's called Caminar. Don't touch that dial. This is JNC.
esta cara a cara la quiero mirar. Espectador he sido demasiado, yo la de cabeza me quiero mirar. Caminar, caminar. Hey Jordy, what's up? Caminan conmigo por calles oscuras, hay que estacionar. No sé dónde estoy y me siento perdido, no sé mi destino ni cómo llegar a caminar. Caminar. Mi voluntad es la cosa que aún me sostiene, sigo mi camino, no voy a perder. Sigo una luz, no sé de dónde viene, ya sé dónde voy, hacia el amor. Caminar, tiempo de enfrentarme a la vida que estoy esperando. La gloria no llega de forma sencilla, hay que irla a buscar. Sientes que te tiembla la tierra, solo son mis pasos, todos los secretos que encierra los voy a descifrar.
Lovely. JJ Rivera. You can see him playing all over town here. Checking him out on social media. JJ Rivera Music. Here we go. All right. We're back. And it's time for Elly's Bad Bitch Bible Study.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
So in the spirit of anxiety, and as the queen of anxiety, I guess I just want to talk about some of the things that help me calm down when I'm in those situations. And it's a lot of what you guys have talked about. Breathing is a huge thing because
It seems so simple, right?
it is, but and like I've been to a lot of therapists and doctors, and they tell you, oh, you just have to breathe and do breathing exercises. And you're like, when I'm in that situation, the last thing I'm going to think about is my breathing. But it's very important to focus on that because when your body goes into that state of anxiety, it's in this fight or flight mode. And it's just survival instinct. So if you pause and you take time to breathe, you can actually calm all those receptors down. And it gives you a moment to kind of have a little more of a rational thought. And just take a moment to redirect your thinking or whatever you have to do to get yourself out of that mindset. So breathing is very, very important. That's one thing that like I'll do. I was doing it today. I had a lot of anxiety today. And you just breathe, talking out loud. I do this all the time in my car. I will just have a conversation out loud with myself. I do it in my house all the time. If I'm getting like, I get triggers sometimes and I don't know what's triggered it. All I know is I feel panicky. I feel anxiety. I don't know what's going on, but I have that feeling. And I just say out loud to myself, I'm okay. I'm safe. because anxiety is a lot about you feeling unsafe in your environment. So telling yourself out loud, I'm safe, I'm okay, things like that, that definitely helps. Positive self-talk, that's goes hand in hand with talking out loud and saying, you know, I'm okay. And the redirection is a huge thing. That's not just for anxiety, God, that's with everything. Being able to redirect that spiral thinking or that obsessive thinking, it's not something that's going to happen overnight. That's something you have to train your brain to do. And you have to rewire your thinking to have whatever anxiety is going on, be able to identify that feeling as anxiety, and then being able to redirect that thinking as, okay, like, I know this is why I'm feeling this way, but here's the facts, and I know I'm safe, and then redirecting it to something else, whether turning on a comfort show, sitting down, having a comfort meal, or, you know, like taking a bubble bath, having a nap. I nap all the time because it's my comfort area, being able to curl up in the bed with the cats.
That's rapid dog's meditation.
Yeah.
Taking a nap.
Whatever you do that is comforting to you, you know, if it's a certain blanket that once you wrap yourself up in it, you feel safe. Those things are very important to have. Just your safe space. And just one thing that I do as well is making a list of pros and cons. I journal a lot, especially when I have overwhelming feelings. It helps me to kind of, like, I'll free write, and then I can sort of categorize my thinking or direct where my thinking is and kind of analyze it a little bit. But writing pros and cons lists helps me a lot with my anxiety, especially if it's something like with social anxiety. And you're like, these are all the what ifs. And you can branch out like, okay, these are the good things that can happen. These are the bad things that can happen. This is how I'll feel when the good things happen. This is how I'll feel when the bad things happen. So then you're redirecting whatever anxiety you have to now your list. And by the time you're done with it, you're like, okay, I can see that there's more good things in this list than the bad things. And it doesn't work every time for me. There's a lot of times that it doesn't. But it's just practice. If you're having like anxiety that is crippling you in a certain area of your life, it's very important to try and get that under control. Like Jordyn with her midlife crisis, I guess.
Existential dread.
Yeah, I mean, I get that sometimes too, and I have to go through my breathing exercises. I have to speak out loud to myself in a positive, uplifting way to support myself. You know, sometimes I have to be like, I'm okay, I'm safe, I'm in good health. All these things are working to my advantage. You know, I can't control what's going to happen. I just have to accept the present. And you just have that conversation with yourself out loud while also breathing and being in your comfort space, whatever you can do to kind of get through that. But that takes time. That takes time and practice to be able to do that in a split second when you're having those emotions, and being able to get yourself out of that spiral before it really consumes you. Because that's the bad part, is when you allow it to consume you, you don't know how to stop it from escalating. Because with anxiety, it starts small and then it gets really big.
Right, it builds.
Absolutely. And I know, like, I don't know anyone that doesn't experience anxiety every day in their life. It's an everyday thing. Everything's going to give you anxiety. That's just the world we live in. Like,
Right.
we wouldn't be alive if we didn't have anxiety about certain things.
Sure.
It's a survival instinct. It's very important to have. However, we're at the top of the food chain. Like, there's not a lot of predators out to get us. It's more of just chance that takes us out, you know? And that's terrifying because you have no control over that. You can't defend yourself against chance.
Yeah, sometimes you don't even see it coming.
Right. So that's our biggest like fear. And that's something that a lot of people will experience, and there's not much you can do except accept it. And try to live your life around that, knowing that that's a possible outcome. But you're not alone in anxiety. I guarantee you, if you're feeling overwhelmed about something very specific and you talk about it with your friends or family, they will have similar experiences. They're not going to look at you like you're insane. They're going to be like, oh yeah, I feel this way about this thing too. Like, everyone has their thing that makes them feel that way. So it's very important to be open and honest to yourself about it, and breathe, keep yourself nice and safe, have your little safe space. And positive self-talk is a huge thing. A lot of the times we'll have those feelings and beat ourselves down during it. Be like, what's wrong with me? Why am I feeling this way? It's like, nothing's wrong with you. And you're feeling this way because you're scared, and that's normal. And you just have to be your own support system and be your own cheerleader and be like, you know what? Like, this is scary. But if we go and do this and it turns out well, then that's one less thing we have to be scared about when we go and do this. And accept that it may not go well, and understand that you'll still be okay if it doesn't go well. If you have a presentation at work and you mess it up and you feel a little embarrassed, guess what? You learn from it. You do better next time. The world's still going to go on after that. You're still going to have a life after that. It may be different, but it may not be worse.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I feel like you've touched on a lot of the things that we touched on tonight, man. It's, I guess what it really comes down to is, don't be afraid to talk about your anxiety if you need to. There's a lot of things that you could do on your own and keep it under control and do your thing. But if it's out of control and the breathing's not helping, like, reach out, talk to somebody, get some professional help, talk to a friend. That shit's free. That's what friends are for.
I've asked Jordyn for help to, like, if I'm feeling anxious. What was it? It was your show the past weekend, and I was like, I just need you to, like, meet me outside in the parking lot and walk in with me. I call it a battle buddy. And I've got it with all my friends. I know I've done it with you, Brad, and it's just like, I've gotten over my fear of asking for that help, because like, sometimes you need that. You just need someone to take that walk with you and help you get through it. It's easier if you have someone by your side. So definitely have a battle buddy to help you get through those certain situations. That is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it.
Sure.
Love it. It's all very important stuff. Great job. Wonderful message. All right. I think we need to quickly get through our shameless plug. All right. Who wants to go first? Anybody have any shameless plugs?
I think Derek wants to go.
All right. Derek, we're going to... Oh, it says it's Jordyn there anyway.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, that's weird.
Well, and I'll quickly go through mine. As always, I've just got a few for you tonight. Check out our sponsors and partners at Code Rum, the Sneaky Tiki in downtown Stewart, the Bug Juice Insect Repellent. There's that. Be sure to listen to our partner podcasts like the Drums and Rums podcast, hosted by our friend Paul Robertson, and the new upcoming podcast hosted by Paul and the Kevin McLaughlin called Riffs and Rhythms, and that's coming soon. One of our sister podcasts. Very exciting stuff. Speaking of Kevin, come out to Terra Firmata this Friday night for Kevin's live album recording session in Stewart. It's sure to be a unique musical experience, and you could be part of Treasure Coast musical history. That show starts at 7 p.m. It's $5 at the door to get in. And if you come up and give me a high five and say, Brad, I love your podcast, I'll give you a koozie. Promise. Also, Kevin is heading up a benefit for local musician Ace Carey, who's in dire need of a heart transplant. There's no other dire situation in your life than needing a whole ass new heart. And that's what's happening here. So that's happening Sunday, September 3rd at Salerno Beach Bar, kicking off at 2 p.m. Great music, raffles, and all kinds of good stuff to help raise money to help Ace through this tough time. A little shameless plugging, I guess. Those were, I guess, shameless plugs, but this is more shameless. Do you shop on Amazon? Of course you do. Support our show and shop through our affiliate link. I just put this up on our website today, but you can also slide into my DMs for the link, or you can find it on our website, jnclive.tv, and click Shop Amazon. Every purchase supports our show and costs you nothing extra. So just do that and then bookmark it. And every time you buy any stupid thing on Amazon,
I just ordered
we got a
stuff
little
for
kickback.
work using the affiliate link.
Excellent. It's so simple.
Thank you, Elly.
It's so simple. You know, if everybody did it.
I have the app and I can add things to the cart because it's easier just to open the app and do it. But I add my things to my cart, and then when I go to pay, I have the affiliate link saved on Facebook, and I open it up, and then I just cash out through
You
that.
know what's wild? If you click our affiliate link on your mobile device, it opens your app on your phone, and it still gives us credit.
Oh, it'll still work that way.
It still works that way. So
I
if
think
you-
mine opens in a browser, but anyways, I'm still logged in. My cart is still updated, so I don't have to add anything else.
Listen,
I just go in and cash
go
out.
the long way around and throw us a bone.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
Take the extra second
we
or
certainly
two.
do
Yeah.
appreciate it. If you just want to directly throw money at us, we like that too. You can find our Patreon link on our website, jnclive.tv. It's a little red button that says become a patron. And you can sign up. It's $5 a month. It adds up and really helps us with some of our nonsense, like as mentioned last week, building an axe throwing board or putting Jordyn in a dunk tank for her birthday. All that kind of fun. And a huge thank you to all of our current Patreon members. And that's it. That's my shameless plug.
Yeah, whatever else you all might want to see in the future.
Yeah, it really helps.
Yeah, if you Patreon, you can suggest things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
How's that?
It's a direct link.
You can tell us what to do.
You can tell us what to do
Kinda.
if we like it.
Yeah. Within reason.
All right, you guys. Before we wind the show down, Jordyn's got a little something special over there. What do you got? What do you got over there, Jordyn?
I do.
Oh,
She's got a $50.
Oh, that.
Oh, that. Listen, guys, if this pans out, you don't need to sign up for Patreon. We're going to be all right. What do you got over there, Jordyn? What
Oh,
you
yeah.
got?
Sorry. We have a win $150,000 a year for life.
Yeah, for life.
Sorry.
So this is something that we started a couple months ago. I missed last month because I'm a slacker. We did the 50 times the cash, and we won nothing. That's a $50 ticket. This is a $5 ticket, and
Better odds.
We're gonna give probably not, but we're gonna give that a
Maybe.
try.
Same odds.
Anyway, so they're gonna.
I learned a helpful tip from one of my customers who is a scratch-off king.
Oh, a scratch-off king is
Yes. Yes. Won't
Right.
say how much he's won, but he said go for the 5 and 10ers instead of the or something
So
like
we did.
that.
We went
So
for the fiver.
This is all on
I'm
you,
gonna hand
sir.
this over to Elly.
Oh, I was going to scratch half and let Elly scratch half. Should we
Well,
not? We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
We'll fix it in post.
All right. I think it's back. I think it's backwards. I don't know why. Oh my god! I'm glad nobody saw that.
I'm kind of upset I didn't.
Oh my god!
How do I fix this?
There it is.
How do?
Oh wait. Oh jeez. Can you hit the? There's like a. No, I got it.
I got it.
There you go. Okay,
Oh.
perfect.
You guys
All
are
right.
on it.
So, scratch the winning numbers first and see what we're working with here.
All right.
So-
Number 1 is a 20. Oh, yeah, 20.
So we got 20. Keep going. Go fast.
Okay,
We're
I'm sorry.
running out of
okay.
time.
3, my favorite number. Oh dear. 23. Whoa.
Oh, the luck is
Oh,
building.
And 26.
All right.
That's some angel numbers right there.
23, 23.
This makes me really nervous. Okay. Anyway.
And oh man, you're a weirdo going from right to left.
I don't know.
What?
Hey, it might work. Okay. It's so weird. It might just work. Dang it, a 6. Not a.
What is
Oh my
that?
God, we got a 26.
Well, that's not.
What does that mean?
It's a number.
Oh my God! Wait, don't. Okay,
I'm not gonna scratch off the
Keep
amount.
going. We want to see what we won.
Oh,
How do we win?
I think you just have to match a number, right?
26 and 26. So that's a winning number, but don't scratch the winning. Oh,
The winning amount.
yeah.
Okay.
We'll do that next.
Got a 7, a 10,
This is a winner, you guys.
a 1.
This will be like
God.
$1.
We've
Yeah, it
won
is.
something.
A 4, a 24. Dang it. Very close. A 19, a 28. Boo. And an 18.
All right, so 26. Any predictions on what the winning?
I think it's gonna be $5.
You think it's gonna be $5?
Yeah, I think we'll get our money back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go big. I'm gonna say $2,500.
Okay.
I'm going to say 2.
You're gonna say $2?
All right.
All right, I'm
Okay.
going. All right. Let's give it a scratch. See what the winning is.
10 buckaroos. You're all wrong.
You doubled it up.
Nice.
That's not bad.
Exciting. Okay, that's our best investment yet.
Yeah. All right. That's pretty good.
We doubled down.
We doubled down.
Thank you for giving us a winning lotto ticket idea here.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, for my customer and you, Brad.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you all.
Now you can get 2 more.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get 2 more. We'll do it next at the end of the next month.
it's the gift that keeps on giving here.
Oh God! All right, you guys. Well, we're winding down here. Thank God. I hope that you found this episode interesting and educational. Listen, anxiety is something that we all grapple with from time to time. Some more often than others. So keeping an open conversation about this and other mental health issues is essential for the well-being of not just ourselves, but as the human collective. So we are always here to hear your stories and give you feedback. So get in touch with us any way that you like. Our website has links. We're accessible on social media. So get it off your chest, and together we can get through anything. I feel like that's important, and we are always here for you. So take it to the bank.
Yeah.
Give it up once again for tonight's JNC Destruction crew, Ms. Jordyn, Taylor, and Elly Brock. All right, you guys. Next week starts a new month. Can you believe it? We'll be in September already.
Yikes.
Just flying by. We got tons of stuff coming up next month, like Oktoberfest. Yeah, thank you.
God, I feel like we just did Oktoberfest.
I know. Are you ready to do Das Boot again? This will be
Hold the mug.
This will be
Oh
the
God,
third
I was thinking
year.
about that the other day, the mug holding thing.
Rough.
Yeah, Steinholden.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, we don't have Sweet Butter Joe locally. So, we may try to pull him in remotely in some way, or come up with something completely new. I'm not sure, but we'll figure it out. But yes, Oktoberfest, that's coming up this month. We have some wonderful guests that are coming on, world famous guests that will be on our show.
World famous?
World famous. Yes.
Mr. Worldwide.
No, we already had him. But you got
True.
it. So that's it.
And a big birthday.
And a big birthday.
We won't talk about it, but
We don't talk about Bruno.
it's a big one.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you for sharing your stories and interacting with us tonight. And we appreciate you. We'll see you next week. Same bad place, same bad time. Broadcasting live from the legendary JNC Lounge. I'm Brad Brock. We love you. Good night.
Oh, I'm amazed.